find it empty.
News on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
It is now 12 hours 3 in Guyana, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a difference. I'm Kevin Smith. Welcome to your news at noon. In your headlines today, misleading report triggers violent protest across 15 East Coast villages, scores of people beaten and robbed, business places looted, and vehicles torched, and more to Golden Grove Public Road closed. And gas into Jagdeo on gas to energy project. We don't want to hear your estimates. Show us something solid. And Exxon Guyana pays U.S. office over $2 billion in past 2 years. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Go loud or go home. Never miss out on your favorite local radio segments, local and international podcasts, and DJ mixes.
That's right.
With the Go Loud app. Discover podcasts like Common Sense, Red Table Talk, The Breakfast Club, and the best mixes from DJs worldwide, and much more. Stream all of your favorite local radio stations in one app. Go loud on what matters to you. Download the Go Loud app in the App or Play Store today and start listening.
And now for the news in detail. A misleading news report by an online media house, the Guyana Daily News, is being blamed for triggering violent protests on Tuesday across 15 East Coast Demerara villages. Protesters began their march from Golden Grove and stopped at Monrepo, although they were reportedly heading for Georgetown. Roads were blocked with the debris and burning tires, while scores of people were beaten and robbed. Market stalls and business places were looted and several vehicles were torched. It all started when the online media house reported that a policeman, Christophe de Nobrega, who was accused of unlawfully killing a Haslington man, 25-year-old Quindon Bacchus, was released from custody. The Haslington man was shot 6 times earlier this month by the policeman during an alleged sting operation to seize an illegal gun. Police had later debunked the Daily News report and stated that de Nobrega was never released and is still in their custody under open investigation. Actually, under open arrest. Meanwhile, 2 weeks ago, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo held a press conference where he used estimates to convince the media and viewers of the live broadcast that the U.S. multi-billion-dollar gas-to-energy project will slash electricity costs by half. He gave this assurance even though the final cost for the project has not been yet solidified. To this end, transparency activist Raymond Gaskin has said that the leader must show the country the feasibility study rather than use assumptions to force the project. The activist said that the government must not keep the figures and details of the gas-to-energy project a secret, but must produce the feasibility study to assure the public of its benefits. 2 Wednesdays ago, when Jagdeo was questioned about the feasibility of the project by Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lall, he explained that the government is currently estimating how much it could gain from the venture, as no solid figure has been determined as yet. In other news, Esso, that is presently the operator of the Stabroek block, is not a Guyanese company. In fact, the company is registered in the Bahamas with ExxonMobil Global Holding Investment BV, being the 100% owner of that company. That being the case, its branch, Esso, locally is expected to make annual payments to its home office, amounting to hundreds of millions of dollars each year, as is outlined in the company's most recent filings of the financial records. And moving on, following the destruction of vehicles, market stalls, looting, and violence on Tuesday during a protest for the shooting of 25-year-old Quindon Bacchus, President Ali assured that there will be justice for the family, of the young man who was shot and killed by a rank of the Ghana Police Force. He said too that all who experienced losses as a result of the riot, which occurred during the protest, will be compensated. And in other news, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation will soon be extending the recently commissioned polyclinic located in Festival City, Georgetown, for an estimated cost of $45 million. The project, which opened on Tuesday at the NPTAB office, saw a total of 7 contractors vying for the project. The polyclinic, which is now managed by the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, was commissioned last year, November, and offers all services of a health center, including diagnostic services such as blood testing, x-rays, dentistry, ultrasounds, and rehabilitation services. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 8 in Guyana. We'll take a short break and return with your news.
This is GHK Lall, inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues, immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Guyana. Join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Welcome back. Let us continue with your news. Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Gail Teixeira has issued a warning to accounting officers attached to the various state agencies that their refusal to appear before the Public Account Committee can result in them being suspended or, even worse, arrested. During the opening of an anti-corruption workshop held on Saturday, Teixeira told the gathering when it comes to the PAC, it is pertinent that the officers appear before the committee to answer to questions over discrepancies found in the public funds highlighted in the annual audit reports. The minister had previously lamented the absence of former permanent secretaries and regional executive officers from sittings of the PAC, stressing that their absence can directly impact on the committee's work. Meanwhile, in its effort to ensure that all citizens can be immunized and protected against the deadly COVID-19, the government is now in the process of sourcing vaccines for children between 6 months and 4 years old. This was announced by the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, who said on Monday that this week his ministry will be ordering vaccines for toddlers. The minister's announcement follows the United States Food and Drug Administration's recent approval that it has given authorized emergency use of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine and the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for the prevention of the disease to include use in children down to 6 months of age. And to wrap things up, President Ali is ready, finally, to move forward with the appointment of individuals to sit on the Public Procurement Commission. This is according to a release issued on Tuesday, which outlined that the long overdue appointments will be made on Friday. Along with the PPC, the President will also appoint new boards to operationalize the Judicial Service Commission, the Teaching Service Commission. Earlier this month, the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee had made an official call to President Ali to swear in swiftly the 5 persons who were unanimously approved to serve on the PPC more than 2 months ago. With the time now moving on to 12 hours 11, we'll wrap things up with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News. Our society is in a worrying state. When people take their eyes off their Creator and start looking to themselves for the answers to their problems, a moral collapse of society is inevitable. Indeed, yesterday's violent protest is evidence of the depths to which our society has declined. But we all can agree that we didn't need a protest of riotous proportion to tell us that our society is in a worrying state. Our politicians have already made it clear that they care nothing for this nation by disregarding the many concerns about how our patrimony is handled. Instead of proving their worth as leaders, they much would rather ensure that every square inch of our dear land is auctioned off to the highest bidder. Perhaps when we are left with nothing to fight for, then Guyanese will begin to seek the intervention of the Creator. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow.